So now that the album's done, do we move on to wedding planning now? Is that the...
No, I'm actually shooting season 5 of Only Murders right now. He has to do some work stuff too. So to be honest, I'm just enjoying us in this moment. And yeah, then we'll get to start the craziness.
In the fast-paced world of pop culture, rumors can spark overnight and take on a life of their own. One of the biggest conversations right now revolves around Selena Gomez's new album, I Said I Love You First, and whether it drops cryptic references to her past relationship with Justin Bieber. Fans are dissecting every lyric, searching for clues that might reveal hidden jabs toward Justin, his marriage to Hailey Bieber, and Selena's renewed sense of self. Adding to the intrigue is Selena's fiancé, super producer Benny Blanco, whose close collaboration on this album has set tongues wagging about loyalty, betrayal, and the blurring line between personal life and music. In other words, if you thought the old Selena-Justin-Hailey saga was done, the rumor mill is here to prove otherwise.
I think so. I think I'd been just so afraid for some reason. I think we all, as humans, get caught up in this, place of fear. Just whatever we're dealing with, we're all dealing with fear to some degree.
But is Selena really shading her ex, or is the public simply reading too deeply into heartfelt lyrics meant to celebrate personal growth? Could it be that each track is a reflection of broader transitions in her life, from shifting friendships to newfound confidence? Or, as some fans suggest, is there a double meaning that calls attention to perceived slights and heartbreak from years past? All these questions collided the moment Selena's fresh music hit the digital shelves. The resulting chatter has been unstoppable. As fans, critics, and industry insiders weigh in, it's easy to forget there might be an even larger story unfolding.
Honestly, it's pretty easy. If she's in bed, I'll just come in and do a really funny voice and I don't even want to. I'm not gonna.
No, come on, give us a second.
No.
One about a global star charting her own course, forging new creative bonds, and finding the voice she's always wanted. One of the standout tracks on I Said I Love You First is a song titled Younger and Hotter Than Me, and from the moment it was teased, it ignited a wildfire of speculation. Listeners immediately drew parallels between the title's mention of someone younger and Selena's well-known age difference with Hailey Bieber. As the public knows, Hailey is about 4 years younger than Selena. This alone, for many fans, was reason enough to suspect the track might be referencing old heartbreak, thinly veiled frustration, or at least a sly nod to the swirling speculation around Justin's relationship choices.
And in that place in my life, I was just battling a lot of stuff internally, and so I was just afraid. I was afraid of, what people were thinking, afraid of, can I do this again? I just was battling with that internal fear.
Once the full track dropped, lines such as, "Were I getting any but your girlfriend?" and "I wish I never loved you, I'm being honest," fueled theories. Fans flooded social media, offering line-by-line analyses suggesting that Selena was finally addressing feelings she'd never previously acknowledged outright. TikTok creators broke down the song in short videos with screenshots of old paparazzi photos of Justin, Hailey, and Selena as they matched lyrics to specific events in the trio's timeline. Some pointed to instances when Justin was seen weeping in public.
It's when you get older and you go through life and sometimes, insecurities come in. And as a kid, I would just say, stay in that, believe in yourself a little more.
Proclaiming that Selena might be resurrecting that memory in her words. Others believed Selena was portraying a younger version of herself, or referencing a new wave of relationships that ended just as dramatically as her most public romances. All this intense chatter overshadowed the fact that Younger and Hotter Than Me could also refer to a broader theme. Selena's had multiple relationships with younger or older partners. Nick Jonas is slightly younger, The Weeknd is slightly older, Drew Taggart of the Chainsmokers had an age difference with her as well, and each romance carried its own unique drama.
So I think at this point in my life, in that point when I made the decision to just go up there and do it, that was okay, I'm ready to kind of do this thing now.
Yeah.
Fans who recall these relationships started to connect the dots, weaving them into the story. This track's lyrics could reference any of those experiences or none of them, yet the possibility that she might be talking about Hailey and Justin made the conversation explode. Beyond that, the title alone invites curiosity. Younger and Hotter could hint at the anxiety some people feel when they suspect their ex has moved on to someone perceived as more youthful or vibrant. Even if it's not about Justin, that emotional core resonates with many listeners, making the track both relatable and combustible in fan circles.
Honestly, that wasn't even the real thing. The real thing we did is, so she's sitting on the phone, she's talking to her grandma, and I walk in, and this might not make sense to a lot of people here, but I walk in with a bag of Whataburger.
Yet the real truth remains elusive. Is Selena telling a pointed story to a very specific ex, or is she tapping into a universal feeling of insecurity after a highly publicized split? Regardless, the speculation has kept "I Said I Love You First" at the forefront of pop culture discussion. For Selena, stepping back into the recording booth marks the end of a 5-year gap since her last full-length project. Although she's released singles and featured on collaborations in the interim, this album is a major milestone. It's also her first large-scale musical effort alongside Benny Blanco, whom she not only trusts as a producer, but also cherishes as her fiancé. Fans curious about the pair have noted how their close creative bond might shape the album's lyrical direction. After all, it's not every day an artist teams up with a life partner to create a body of work that invites the world to speculate on their private lives.
Of course, I'm freaking out. She was mad. She almost didn't even come. She was like, I really don't feel that well. I think I'm just gonna stay home today. Can't we just make up the shoot another day? And I was like, and I'm like trying to figure out a way to do it. First of all, getting engaged to someone is the craziest thing in the world.
Benny's background as a super producer is no small detail. He's worked with top-tier names across the music industry, from pop heavyweights to hip-hop icons. His ability to craft irresistible hooks and polished productions often leads to chart-topping success. But this time, his role expands beyond simply producing. He's also part of the narrative, given that their love story is entwined with the music. In interviews, the couple shared a sweet anecdote about Selena blurting out, "I love you," first after coming out of anesthesia from a hand surgery. According to Benny, Selena repeated those words several times, so he couldn't dismiss it as a random remark. He realized this was a heartfelt confession, even if she was slightly loopy from the sedatives.
It was in a box, and I had it hidden in a bag that I thought no one would go in. It was the scariest week of my life.
That moment inspired the album's title, "I Said I Love You First," which adds a deeply personal dimension to the project. Fans who have followed Selena's career for years know that she's always been transparent about her emotional state in her music. This time, the personal emphasis is magnified by the presence of her fiancé as collaborator. Moreover, the album merges Benny's mainstream pop style with Selena's introspective songwriting approach. The result, as described by industry insiders, is a collection of tracks that cross genres and experiment with new sounds, something that might not have happened if Selena had worked with a producer who didn't share her day-to-day life. Critics note that this interplay of romantic partnership and artistic partnership can yield brilliant synergy or create complicated dynamics. The public, meanwhile, is busy guessing whether Benny influenced lyrics that poke fun at or draw from Selena's past romances. Could he have encouraged her to reveal more? Did they share stories about the heartbreak she endured in her 20s and turn it into creative inspiration? Or is the album purely about looking forward, celebrating the life they now share? Each track raises fresh questions about that dynamic, igniting endless online discussions that range from supportive admiration to borderline conspiracy theories. No conversation about Selena's romantic history would be complete without mentioning Justin Bieber, her most high-profile ex-partner. Their relationship, which went through multiple breakups and reconciliations, was a central fixture of celebrity gossip for much of the 2010s. Even before social media soared to its current influence, Yelena was trending. Paparazzi captured them, strolling hand in hand, attending award shows together, and even looking emotionally drained during arguments that spilled into public view. The final nail in the coffin came when Justin reconnected with Hailey Baldwin, leading to a swift engagement and marriage in 2018. For many fans, that sudden shift was jarring. Some believed Selena and Justin would inevitably find their way back to each other. Others felt relieved Selena was no longer stuck in a relationship that seemed tumultuous at best. The question is, did Selena herself move on? Or are there lingering emotional scars that surface in her art? Over the years, Selena's interviews often included cryptic acknowledgments of their history, typically delivered in a calm, restrained manner. She rarely named Justin directly. Instead, she'd speak about heartbreak, personal evolution, and the challenges of growing up in the public eye. When she released her single, "Lose You to Love Me" in 2019, the internet erupted with analysis, convinced it was a direct commentary on Justin. She never confirmed that suspicion outright, but the lyrical content, about needing to lose someone to truly find herself, fed the frenzy. Now, with a brand new album, listeners are zeroing in on each verse, convinced she might have more to say. Lines referencing regret, embarrassment, or being replaced feel suspiciously relevant if one recalls the timeline of Selena and Justin's final days together. Some argue that the verses depict hidden messages for Justin, discussing how quickly he moved on and how jarring it was for her to watch. Others contend that Selena's older heartbreak is a footnote at this point, overshadowed by her fresh experiences. Still, the internet remains relentless. Once a narrative gets lodged in the public's mind, it's tough to shake. Selena, for her part, has tried, perhaps in vain, to encourage fans to keep an open mind about her music. During promotional interviews leading up to the album's release, she said that not every lyric references what fans assume. She's been candid about experiencing changes in her friendships and forging new personal paths over the last 5 years. Some tracks, she insists, are about those very shifts. Longtime friends drifting away, unexpected betrayals, and the exhilaration of meeting new people who fill an emotional void she didn't realize she had. Additionally, Selena alluded to the complexities of public interpretation. She's aware that no matter what she puts out, a large portion of the audience will tie it back to Justin. This has become almost inevitable, given their history and the unwavering fan fascination with their dynamic. Her perspective is that once an artist releases a piece of work, the story behind it is left in the hands of the listeners. She can stress that many songs address different types of relationships, friendships, professional collaborations, or even her relationship with herself. But inevitably, a fraction of fans will consider everything a direct shot at Justin. Some supporters applaud this stance, noting that Selena is emphasizing her growth and wanting to move beyond old heartbreak narratives. They argue that her artistry shouldn't be confined to a single love story when she's lived a rich, multifaceted life. Others remain skeptical, suspecting that she's intentionally sprinkling subtle references, aware it will spark headlines and curiosity, thereby boosting the album's profile. It might be a savvy marketing move, or just an artist reclaiming her narrative. Either way, the debate continues. Amid these swirling rumors, Justin and Hailey Bieber have maintained a somewhat enigmatic front. While neither has come out explicitly to address Selena's album, they've shared posts that fans interpret as cryptic responses. Justin, for instance, posted a note about forgiveness and how it's for everyone, the past, the future, and for those who hurt us. He also included statements about not watering down the message to make others comfortable, which many took as a subtle clapback at the new wave of scrutiny over his relationship with Selena, or the insinuation that he might be embarrassing. Hailey, on the other hand, posted a throwback message from 2019 about maintaining composure amid judgment, leading fans to believe she's indirectly addressing the heightened speculation around her age difference with Selena. Of course, cynics are quick to say these social media posts might simply be generic positive vibes or spiritual reflections. But in the fast-paced world of fandom, coincidence doesn't register as easily as purposeful shade-throwing. Countless reactions flood the comment sections. Some find it unfair that Justin and Hailey are constantly tied to Selena's life, while others champion the notion that Selena is simply telling her truth. Public chatter goes well beyond Instagram stories. On TikTok, creators stitch together old interviews, paparazzi footage, and side-by-side comparisons of Selena's new lyrics and events in Justin's timeline. Some claim to see direct correlations, like references to heartbreak around the time Justin was first spotted with Hailey. Others highlight the comedic possibility that fans are forcing puzzle pieces to fit. Either way, the discourse has propelled the album into daily trending lists across platforms. Offline, traditional media outlets, from music magazines to talk shows, pose the question, is Selena Gomez shading Justin Bieber? That headline is repeated so often that it almost overshadows deeper discussions about Selena's artistry. Yet the reality is that controversies, real or perceived, drive engagement. Whether people are outraged or entertained, they're paying attention. In an era where clicks and views measure cultural impact, the question of whether the drama is real or fabricated becomes secondary to the fact that it's working as powerful publicity. While the Justin-Hailey dimension captures headlines, I Said I Love You First is far from a one-note project. Collaborators on the album include heavy hitters like Gracie Abrams, J Balvin, and Phineas, each bringing distinct influences and broadening the album's sonic palette. Gracie Abrams adds a heartfelt pop sensibility, J Balvin infuses a Latin edge, and Phineas's knack for emotive production frames Selena's vocals in a fresh context. This variety suggests that Selena is looking to experiment rather than stick to a formula or dwell exclusively on old heartbreaks. For some fans, these features highlight a bigger message. Selena is bridging different musical worlds and forging new creative identities, a process that might mirror the personal changes she's experienced. Many tracks address transitions in general, transitions in friendships, in professional circles, and in her own mindset. She's openly discussed cutting ties with people who no longer support her well-being and welcoming new individuals who help her grow in healthy directions. These personal evolutions might not generate the same sensational headlines as a Justin Hailey reference, but they're arguably more central to who Selena is today. It's also worth noting that Selena has grown from a Disney Channel star to a worldwide pop phenomenon. Over that arc, she's navigated public breakups, health struggles, philanthropic initiatives, and now entrepreneurial ventures, like her cosmetics line, while also addressing mental health issues. Each step added complexity to her narrative, and each piece is part of the puzzle fans see when they look at this album. In some ways, focusing solely on the Justin angle neglects the broader tapestry of her life experiences woven into the songs. At the same time, the media frenzy might be unavoidable. When an artist has a backstory that intersects with other high-profile celebrities, the public can't help but speculate. The hype around Younger and Hotter Than Me might overshadow other songs that delve into equally compelling topics: personal insecurities about self-image, conflicts with once close friends, or the euphoria of finding genuine love with someone who respects her. The challenge for Selena is balancing the desire to tell her story on her own terms with the reality that millions of strangers have formed their own narrative about her life. Some fans suspect strategic timing behind the release of I Said I Love You First. They note how Hailey has weathered multiple controversies on TikTok, including that viral 7-part series about alleged interactions with Justin's past, fueling the rumor that Hailey keeps an eye on Selena. The album's arrival landed at a moment when Hailey's name was already dominating social media. This near-perfect storm of coverage makes people wonder if Selena's team locked in the release date specifically to maximize attention. Of course, album releases typically undergo months of planning. Recording sessions, mixing, mastering, and marketing rollouts follow a strict schedule, often coordinated with label executives. It's entirely possible that everything simply lined up in a way that feels fated or contrived, depending on one's perspective. Regardless, the result is a media environment ripe for speculation. The synergy, or dissonance, between Selena's new album and the ongoing narrative about Justin and Hailey's marriage stokes engagement day after day. Yet, not everyone is convinced the timing is cunningly manipulated. Some fans argue that Selena has typically launched her projects when she's artistically ready, not to overshadow or belittle anyone else. In their view, she's moved on, focusing on her relationship with Benny and the potential she sees for growth as an artist. If controversies swirl regardless, that's more a testament to the public's fascination with the old love triangle than a cunning plan by Selena's PR team. In the end, the question of whether the album drop is a carefully orchestrated scandal or just a series of coincidences might never be definitively answered. Ultimately, I Said I Love You first reflects a multifaceted journey, one where Selena Gomez reclaims her narrative after a lengthy break from full-length albums. The new music brims with references to love, heartbreak, self-discovery, and personal transformation. Listeners, of course, hunt for hidden meanings that might point to Justin Bieber, while Selena insists her art transcends any single relationship. Even Benny Blanco's presence in the story, both as a co-creator and fiancé, has fans buzzing about loyalty, possible betrayals, and the complicated ties that run through the music industry. From the outside, it might look like drama, a pop star returning with lyrics that could be read as a direct challenge to her ex. Yet, on another level, it speaks to universal themes of moving past old pain, forging new paths, and grappling with insecurities over how and why things ended. The fact that the audience remains deeply invested in a romance that ended years ago speaks volumes about the power of celebrity narratives and how they intersect with genuine human emotion. Celebrity stories can become mirrors for our own experiences, urging us to examine heartbreak, hope, and healing in our personal lives. As the public devours each track on the album, the speculation will continue. Some fans will swear they hear Selena calling out Justin by name, even in lines that never directly mention him. Others will celebrate her refusal to be defined by any ex, focusing instead on her evolution into a self-assured woman who found new love on her own terms. The discourse is a testament to Selena's enduring star power, Justin's entrenched place in her story, and Hailey's complicated position in an ever-watchful spotlight. In the end, the meaning belongs to the listeners. Whether they believe Selena is dissecting old wounds or simply reflecting on the ups and downs of her entire adult life, her audience will interpret the album through their personal lenses. maybe that's precisely what Selena intended, an invitation to join her on a journey of transformation, guided by raw emotions that any person, celebrity or not, can relate to. As the speculation rages on, a single truth remains. I said I love you. First is more than just a moment in a love triangle. It's a milestone for an artist who has repeatedly reinvented herself and, in doing so, keeps the world watching her every move. So, will the rumors ever die down? Probably not. As long as fans and media outlets hunger for drama, the question of what or who Selena Gomez is singing about will remain an open-ended puzzle. But from her perspective, it might not matter. After all, she's already said what she needed to say, both in her new music and in her interviews, stressing growth above all else. Whether the public chooses to accept that at face value or continue looking for secret messages is up for debate. Yet that very debate underscores how enthralling the pop culture landscape can be. For now at least, the world seems perfectly content to keep guessing, keep talking, and keep hitting replay on every track.